It is Monday. It is 1 p.m. It is time for the Monday message. So excited to be talking to everybody today. What the video I posted, that is what we are going to talk about today. We are going to talk about how to triple commissions at the same exact lead cost. And I'm just telling you, the smart agents, this is what they do. It not only increases commissions, it increases persistency dramatically. And so when we get into it today, I'm telling you, if you'll just act like this is what I have to do, this is a requirement, I have to do it, this is the only way to do it. If you'll just do it like that, I promise you, you will see over time your average commission per client triple, and you will see 100% increase in persistency. You will absolutely see that increase in persistency. I'm just telling you. So when we go over it today, I'm just act like it's law. Act like it's law. But let's get into our numbers from the week that was last week. Issue paid, submitted. Let's see here. There we go. All right. We got everybody over 1,000 last week. We got Alec. We got Sarah, Kelly, Brandon, Jerry Ann, Jason, Crystal, Michaela. We got Arnold. Next slide. Let me reduce this so I can see the whole thing. There we go. Ricky, Linda, Ariel, Robert, Chantel, Rogers and Kim, Kath, Hope, Casey, Cleo, Tyler, Charisma, Camille, Mercedes, Mimi Ramiro, Mike Guerra, Janet Brush, Tom Payne. I slid in a few apps last week. Matt Albrechtson on the leaderboards. Brianna, we got Haley, Mallory Barnes, Marissa, Aaron Wilson, Andre Lee, Anthony. We got Sabrina. There you are, Sabrina. Look at that, Sabrina. And she's one of my experts on the call today. Adam Burge, and then you got Eli coming in with 10 apps for $12,100.32. Top 5 last week. David Helgeson turning in $12,922.44. Got David Fleming coming in, 8 applications for $16,334.88. Jeremico Edwards coming in, 14 applications, $19,641.68. Sydney coming in, 7 applications for $25,856.28. Way to go. Great meeting in Detroit. Was it last week? Yeah. Was it last week I was there? Yeah. Trying to remember, trying to keep it all straight, keep all the days straight in my head. Great crew up there in Detroit. I'm telling you, they've got some premium flowing there. And then Mark Hutchison last week, looks like he had a big annuity, 1 application for $77,080. Way to go, everybody on the leaderboards. Top 5 paychecks last week. Mimi depositing $3,353.01. Haley depositing $3,883.56. Jeremico Edwards depositing $3,894.04 last week. Mike Guerra depositing $6,759.08 last week. And number 1 paycheck last week, Nick Greco depositing $6,769.66 last week alone. Way to go, everybody on the top paycheck leaderboard. Look at the recruiting going on. Look at the recruiting going on. Completed fast tracks. You got Arnold, you got Ann, you got Andromedy, you got Rogers and Kim, the Base Shop. Adam and Cindy Burge leading the way with 12 direct completed fast tracks last week alone. Look at all the pre-licensing. The Base Shop putting in 3. Adam and Cindy Burge putting in 3. The Burges are on the grow. The Burges are on the serious grow. I love it. And by the way, for you, when you sign people up to pre-licensing, let us know. We want to give you recognition. We don't get data from the pre-licensing companies when you put people into pre-licensing. Look at all the contracts. Rogers and Kim, you got Rachel Midtune, Nick Greco, you got Barrett, Janet Brush, Mark Hutchison, Jeff. We got Arnold. We got Cleo. Arnold and Cleo both putting in 2. West Coast growing. Let's go. West Coast grow. The Base Shop put in 5 direct contracts, and Adam and Cindy Burge leading the way, 7 direct contracted agents last week. Hey, it's not a mystery. They are investing in recruiting. Investing in recruiting. That is how you get yourself free. All right. My travel schedule coming up. Next Tuesday, I will be in San Diego. Then that weekend, the 15th and 16th, we've got the boot camp here at the office. Get your tickets to the boot camp. Come to the boot camp. I'm telling you, we will that Saturday. It's Friday evening. You'll come in. We got a social event that Saturday. We are going to collapse your learning curve. We are going to save you time by investing in the boot camp. You are, in fact, buying life back. You're buying time back because we are going to help get you quicker. We are going to help you get writing more business. Every time you come to a boot camp, you will take away stuff that will immediately make you more money. We've got an agenda we're putting together for this boot camp. I am excited about. The Friday social is going to be fun. You'll feel I'm all over the country. People are like, hey, I want to get some more time with you. This is where you can get crazy concentrated time with us. August 15th and 16th. Then Stamford, Connecticut, the following Tuesday. Detroit, August 25th, and then back to San Diego, August 26th. September travel schedule is currently being put together. If you've got sharp people coming on your team, let me know where they're at. I will get out there as best I can, as quick as I can, to help as much as I can. All right, so here's the content for today's call. I've got guests we're going to work on and work through. If all you do is sell a final expense policy to a lead, or sell a term policy to a lead, or sell a universal life policy to a lead, if that's all you do, you are absolutely leaving money on the table. You're leaving persistency on the table, which actually costs you money when you have lower persistency than you can have. So not only is it an increasing in the amount of new commissions coming in, it's a keeping of commissions. So if you take what we're talking about and apply it with getting referrals as well, I'm just telling you, there's really no way to measure how much it will actually increase your commissions because it just becomes an exponential curve. So what I've got on the call today, I've got Omar Smith. He's gonna buzz through some of the basic ancillary products. Here's the thing with ancillary products: don't try and learn all of them before you write one. Start with the basics and add to it. After that, I've got Sabrina Floyd. You saw her numbers last week. I asked Holly, I was like, who is our #1 ancillary product person? And she said, Sabrina, without hesitation. So Sabrina, I can't wait for y'all to hear what Sabrina has to say. And then Mimi's going to talk to us about Mutual of Omaha's children whole life policies, adding those to every person you write. Mimi writes a ton of those. I'm telling you, it's another big opportunity to add to what you're doing. We're calling leads anyways. We're selling life insurance anyways. We might as well stack up this extra cash. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to you for the next few minutes, Omar, to just kind of walk us through some of the basics. Some of these products may be, you may be going, oh, I didn't know we had that. But just don't try and learn them all. Get started on a few and then keep adding back. Keep adding to, keep going back and adding to. Omar, I'm gonna turn it over to you for the next few minutes. Talk to us about just some of the basic products that we have that they should be adding to every single sale.
Absolutely. Happy to. Y'all can hear me? That sound good?
Loud and clear.
Gotcha. Sweet. Awesome. All right. Appreciate y'all letting me on. I'm glad to be back in the office this week. A lot of catch up. A lot of catch up to do. Y'all definitely sent a lot of messages last week. But yeah, I'm going to do a quick flyby on some of the ancillary products. And just another quick shout out to the other guests, Sabrina and Mimi. I love them both. I know them both very well. So when you guys are asking me questions about these things, these people are the people that I talk to before I answer the question. Right. So I literally have conversations with Sabrina and Mimi and have had them about these type of products and like what do they use, what do their go-to. So definitely stay tuned to listen to the experts here. But through my lens, when we're getting people started, it's almost always with final expense, just because most of the people we onboard have not done this at all before, or they've done very little. Right. So we kind of look at it as like a stair step approach, and Steven's absolutely correct. Like we introduce these ancillary products early in the process. So depending on the client and who they're in front of, like we'll skip around, but this is kind of how we introduce the products and why we do that. So the first one is accidental death. Mutual of Omaha has a product called Guaranteed Advantage. And the reason we introduced that early on first is really it's one of the simpler products. Right? There's only 2 pages to the e-app. Super simple. There's no health questions, and literally you can add an extra $500,000 of coverage to somebody like that, right? With relatively not a lot of premium. So who is this for? This is usually for the final expense clients that maybe Maybe they didn't want final expense. Maybe they wanted like 100K worth of premium, right? Or 100K worth of death benefit, but couldn't qualify for it. Or rather, they couldn't afford it, right? So all they could afford is $20,000 worth of final expense. So to kind of help bridge the gap, maybe we'll throw them an extra 75,000 of a standalone accidental death policy, right? To kind of just bridge the gap with that coverage. So think about it in those terms. Maybe a client that couldn't afford what they wanted exactly, or maybe they couldn't qualify medically. So huge, huge, huge add-on there. And download Mutual of Omaha's mobile app. It's called Quotes for Sales Professionals. All their products are on there, including this one. This policy is pennies on the dollar. I mean, the first one I ever sold was to a 70-year-old guy for $250,000 worth of accidental death coverage. It was like 40 bucks a month. It's crazy, right? Now, what happens if they don't die due in an accident? Well, obviously, it doesn't pay out, right? But do yourself a favor and head over to the ARC and go under the resources under the university, and you'll see a chart from the CDC that basically shows for every like age group how we die, right? What are the ways we die the most? And basically, from age 1 to 65, unintentional or accidental injury is one of the top three ways that we check out of this place, right? So if you need to make that logical leap, you can look at that chart. It's there. So check that out. All right, next, in the order of operations, I do like to introduce children whole life to our agents early on because, again, they're primarily talking to final expense clients. And again, I'm gonna go back to Moo. What I love about their children's whole life policy is that the grandparents can actually buy the policy without the parents having to sign for it, which is a big deal, right? You're going to have very few conversations with grandparents that don't at least like the idea of being able to buy some coverage for their kids or grandkids, rather. And it's because they like their grandkids more than their kids. They just do. I don't know. That's the rules. I don't make them, right? All grandparents love their grandchildren more than their regular children. So just, it is what it is. So if you put it out there, like they are going to like the idea of buying some coverage for them. And personally, the reason I bought this policy for both of my boys as soon as I could is because of the guarantee insurability rider. And so, long story short, there are certain times in an insured's life, well, they'll be able to purchase more life insurance on top of what their grandparents bought for them without having to prove that they are insurable. So that's huge for like my family because I have a lot of autoimmune diseases on my mom's side of the family. And so it usually presents itself in early adulthood and it makes it hard to get life insurance later in life. So my boys, if they do come down with that, they're not going to have to worry about that because they have this policy. They're now going to be able to buy more life insurance at certain points because they have that rider on there. So super, super important to add that. All right, I'll move through these quickly. Hospital indemnity, just like it sounds, is going to give you a cash benefit or the insured a cash benefit for every day that they spend in the hospital. And that's huge because it could be an operation, it could be something small, but any day that a client has to stay in there, hopefully they've got some kind of health insurance, they probably do. But this goes over and beyond that because maybe you have family that are going to take off work. They're going to come visit you for a couple of days while you're doing this procedure. That can help cover the cost of gas, travel, food, hotel rooms, right? That daily cash benefit, it can be a huge deal for your client. And again, through the lens of final expense clients, as we get older, that's just something that's going to happen. We're going to spend time in the hospital. So it just makes sense to have something like this outside of your policy you may already have. Last but not least, and this one can be a little more complicated as far as the customization on it, is critical illness. So again, Moo has a critical illness policy. You'll see this oftentimes like cancer, heart attack, stroke. Sometimes it'll say that on the policies, but basically, if there's some type of illness that's chronic, terminal, or anything like that, the client can get a lump sum benefit to go towards whatever, right? Hopefully, it's treatment, right? Some kind of surgery or something like that. And now, depending on what kind of policy you wrote for them, they may have a life insurance policy that has living benefits on it already. The reason I like the idea of having this as a standalone, in addition to that, is if they accelerate that, if they access that in their living benefits, that is going to decrease their death benefit, right? It could go from 100,000 to 25,000. I don't know, right? It is going to decrease it. So the reason why you might want to get that standalone is so that policy, that 100K, it's for whatever it's for. right? If I have a standalone critical illness policy, now I can still take care of something when the unexpected happens, but I've got my life insurance still intact and untouched, right? So that's going to be important. But that's just a quick flyby on some of the more popular ancillary products. There are many other ones that we could talk about, but those are the four that I try to get people involved with and understanding very quickly to add that to their sales process.
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. And Sabrina, when I bring Sabrina on, if you have other products, Sabrina, that you want to mention, we will get we will cut some more training on stuff because these products are there. It's just
Mhm.
money that you're leaving on the shelf. Now, I am going to give one, and this is actually a federal law. I looked this up. If you start writing accidental death only and not writing full coverage life, you will it's up to 20 years in prison. So just know that that's a fact. Stay on the right side of the law on this one, because I'm just telling you, if you start writing accidental only, you will go to prison for 20 years. So just be careful with that. Uh, I say that because I've had agents before like, oh man, I found out about this accidental. It's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper. And it's like, yeah, that's because most most of the time it doesn't pay out, right? It's extra protection. It's not in place of a solid full coverage life insurance policy. And you're right about the critical illness. When you talk about that in a policy and people love that, make a note, then loop back and say, hey, we just got your IULE approved. We just got your, by the way, the American Amicable IULE lookalike is getting ready to roll out to Gen Pop. So be ready to write a lot of that. It's going to have the common sense underwriting that American Amicable is so known for. Rates are. Omar and I were on that call. We'll have Roberto Silva on the call to go over that with us. But Omar and I were comparing rates. It's in some cases a little bit more than IULE. In some cases, it's less than IULE. But either way, it's both, of course, are way less than Forrester Smart UL. If you write Smart UL correctly, which is that Smart Solve Premium. So yeah, if they mention a cancer history, if they mention a heart attack history, these are all notes you make and then you loop back. So thank you, Omar. I appreciate all you're doing in the office. Glad you are recovered and healing. We had sickness rip through the office last week, so statistically we should be in the clear for a little while. All right, Sabrina, you are our ancillary product dominator. So I want to hear everything you have to say about how what's your thought process, how you loop back, what products you love to use, what products you find are easy to just add on. And by the way, like the critical illness that Mutual of Omaha has, it pays like a life insurance policy. Like it pays a good high comp. So Sabrina, way to go, $10,000, lighten it up. And like I said, you are our ancillary product leader. So talk to us. And so treat me like I'm brand new, Sabrina. Like I just signed up yesterday, and I've just sold 2 final expense policies, and I just like help get me writing ancillary products on every single person I put a life insurance policy on.
Got it. Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much for having me on the call. Thank you to you and Holly for your leadership was greatly appreciated. Hey, Davies Nation. I'm Sabrina Floyd. Today I'm in South Carolina. Sometimes I'm in New Jersey. Just depends on what's going on. But the ancillary products, I'm so glad you're doing this topic because it's one of the things that many people overlook and don't understand the true benefits of what this can do for their client. And please note that it's not just for final expense clients. This is for any client that you have underneath your belt. Um, because the way this product helps people is the way I position it to people is that ask them what type of living policies do you have? And no one knows what I'm talking about. Then I say, well, let me tell you about them. And the policies are heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Do you know anyone who's ever had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer? Everyone says yes. Someone knows someone, sometimes it's them. And then from there, I really discuss the benefit of that the policy pays while they're alive. And that is the biggest caveat that people, their eyes light up and they're very excited. And they usually say, what do you mean? And I say exactly what I said. It pays while you're alive, meaning that you can get the policy. When you get the policy and it needs to pay out, you get the check. And I'll give you an example. I had a client, and let me just say this, and I don't think I'm pushy. I just think I love my clients. So I have a client who in 2024, October, November, I was doing her policy review, and her husband had had cancer prior, and she had some other medical issues that were going on. And I said to her, I said, let's add the heart attack, stroke, and cancer to your portfolio as well. She hemmed and hollered about it. But essentially, I kind of forced her to do it, but she did it. But lo and behold, what happened in September of 20, no, what happened in April this year? She had a stroke, 47 years old. She was so grateful that I talked to her about it, but more important, that I did not let up off the gas. When I explained how important it was, and she just said, I trust you, Sabrina, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. She was so grateful that she got a $10,000 check to help with her cost of living because you can use it for anything that you want. The other thing about the product is, and you should run some quotes so you can see, this product is very cost effective. It is very cost effective. There are times that I have clients who I insure themselves and their children for $3 a month, for $4 a month, for $10 a month. So you have to think when you present it to people and you show them what the value is and you show them what the cost is, 99% of the time they're going to take the policy because the policy makes sense, because the benefit is for their family, and because the benefit pays while they are still living. The other way I position a policy is if I have someone who has older parents, I encourage the children to get these policies for their parents. And the reason I do that is because in 2018, for me, we ended up living. My dad was very ill. The hospital they sent him to was 2 hours from the home. So we literally lived in the hospital for 2.5 months, caring to take care and watch over my dad. So from that day forward, I said, imagine if I would have, and I wasn't too familiar with the product at that time. I really had just started with the Alliance. So I was thinking, imagine if we had that policy and what that would do. So from that day forward, after that, I really started writing a lot of this. And one of the things that we have is that it is a product that we put on my mom. And it's not so much the benefit for her, the benefit is for us as children. So just like we stayed in the hospital for those 2.5 months, this policy is for the children because no matter what happens, when life happens, your mortgage people don't want to hear about your mama's in the hospital. Your rent people don't want to hear the car note still got to get paid. Life still goes on. So it's not so much to care for that person as much as it is to help the children or the loved ones continue with their life. So imagine that your loved one, your mom, had a heart attack or a stroke. You're going to go care for them. But imagine now that when you go care for them, you guys receive a check for $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, and you don't have to worry about offsetting the cost of your living. You can now care for that person with a sense of relief, knowing that you can still pay your bills. And that's a real thing that people deal with. That's one of the battles. So I also explained to them that even if you have family medical leave, which is which protects your attendance, or they can't fire you if you have family medical leave to go care for a loved one, that's an unpaid leave. So yes, it protects your job, but it does not pay you. So I also position it that way with them, that this is a tool that you can have that continue to pay you so you can pay your bills while you care for a loved one. Another product that I love to use with people, I just sold about 4 or 5 of these in the last week, is home health care. That's a big thing. A lot of times when people go in a hospital, they would much rather come home and be cared for than to be in a hospital or a nursing home. We have products that do that. We have products that will pay up to $1,400 a week for you to pay someone to care for you. We also have another product with GTL that not only pays that, up to $1,400, it also adds another $3,500 on to help your loved ones help care for you. So we have a smorgasbord of different things that we can utilize to help our clients that are very cost effective. And like Stephen mentioned, some of them pay just as well as a life insurance policy pays. But the main thing that I like about the products is that they're cost effective and they really leave my clients with a sense of relief, knowing that they have this tool in the back of their mind, irregardless of the living benefits that they may have on a life insurance policy. For me, I don't go so much into the living benefit side of the policy. I just give them this. I just talk to them about it, and that's what I do. And the way that I do that is once we complete our main thing. So if I'm going for a final expense, or if I'm going for mortgage protection, we complete that. Upon approval, when it's time for me to circle back and to discuss the policy with them and review everything, is when I'll start presenting um, the critical illness, the heart attack and stroke, the cancer products to them at that time. Or I'm listening. That's why you have to listen in the home. I'm listening for them to tell me that they have a mom or a dad or a loved one who's greatly ill. For me, another example is my sister. My sister was gravely ill since the age of 40, but she had these products in place. And unbeknownst to us, at the age of 46, she had a heart attack, but she had one of these policies in place that she had been paying on as well. So it is something. I have the products. I have it on my son. I have it on the children that I care for. I have it on my mom. I have it on my brother. Um, Everyone in my family has this product. So if you don't have it, I strongly recommend that you start with yourself first and you start with your family members first and really talk to them. I just had a family reunion this past weekend, and that's all I was talking about was life insurance. Do you have this? Do you have that? Because I know family members who parents or brothers or sisters have heart attacks, strokes, and that's all we talked about. Well, not all, but that was a majority of what I was talking about over the weekend. Um, how to make their portfolio better and how to further protect their family. And the other great thing is that you can add children on. So that's a big thing. A lot of times people will keep stuff on the book when their children are attached to it. And and that's it. That's what I do. That's how I do it.
I love it. And I want to make sure everybody heard something you said. She has the products on herself. She has the products on her family. That freeness of speech, that's why I love that story about your client, Sabrina. That's why her client goes, I trust you, I must need this, or whatever she said like that. I was like, it's because you have that organic, powerful belief that only comes from owning the products yourself. So that is number one place to start. I love all the stuff you're talking about, and I appreciate you leading in this sector. Guys, she was giving you gold there. Just start doing these things like it's absolutely a requirement. Like if you don't do it, all of your life insurance sales will all disappear. I operate like that is, and I love the fact that you bring that to them, because I mean, let's be honest. If you utilize the accelerated benefits on your life insurance policy, that means you are not well. So you're drastically reducing your life insurance, your ultimate life insurance payout at a time that you are the least insurable.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm just telling you, like adding that, I love it. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I appreciate you and appreciate you helping us on the call today. Awesome. Keep rocking.
And then one more thing, Stephen, just my main go-tos, I didn't name the companies I like. Moo, very simple application. You have to do it on their portal, but it's very simple. Make sure you have the quoting tool on there. And then CVS, Aetna has great products as well. And then GTO. Those are my three main go-to. And like Stephen said, please don't try and learn everything. I would just start with heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Those are the most basic ones and the easiest.
Good tip on CVS. That wasn't even on my radar, Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excellent tip. Excellent
It's an
tip.
easy app. Easy app.
Excellent tip. You just do it right off the same page that you would do your CVS life insurance policy off of?
Yep, it's right there.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to go look at that. That was a new one on me. I love it. Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right, let's get our last guest on. And I'm telling you, Sabrina talked about it. Mimi writes a ton of it. Talk to us about Children's Whole Life with Mutual of Omaha, and how you position it, right? Like how do you position it? Because you move a lot of that.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you for having me on the call. Man, Serena and Omar, they did so well. I feel like I want some more of those policies they're talking about. I'm like, Sabrina got me there. But I have the mutual that Sabrina was talking about. I had a heart attack stroke with Mutual of Omaha, and it's a great product. You need it. If it's in your issue, you need to have it. Thank you for that, Sabrina. Children whole life. So I do both, Stephen. I do both Mutual and Foresters. But I believe Foresters is not in all the states, but it's still a great product. I love the simplicity of both of those products because you can do one app and put multiple kids in those applications. It's really a time saver thing too. So how do I present it to people? Because most people are sensitive about their kids. They don't want to know insurance in their kids, thinking like, oh, my kid's gonna die. So what I used to do, I don't do that much anymore. I used to carry my kids' policy. So again, personal use is very beneficial. You need to have your own. So I bring my kids' policy. So and then I show them. I say, hey, what do you have on your kids? I just assume they have something. I said, what do you have on them? Oh, no, I don't have anything on my kids. I was like, oh, okay. Do you understand you don't have peace of mind until everybody in the house is covered? Oh, I never thought about it like that. Yeah, I say, yeah. And then don't think, I told them straight, don't think about your kids dying, even though we're not in charge of when they're gonna die. But think about you saving them money. Even on the children whole life, you can get 50,000, 75,000 on the Forester one for sure. So you get those kids on those whole life for $3, $5 a month. When they're older, they can be your grandparents' age and still keep those policy at that same price. It will never go away. So these little children policy, guys, I don't talk to people about it with for saving for college because it's a lie. They don't go that much money to save for college. And then sometimes people will say, is it like the Gerber type of deal where they can save for money? I say, oh, no, let's stop right there. That's a lie. These small policies, you cannot pay $5 and expect it to pay for college. How much you think college is? So they're like, yeah, Mimi, okay, thank you for being honest. So that's those policy. I tell them, hey, I have those on my kids because I don't know which loser or winner they're gonna marry. So I have it just in case. If they don't marry the right person or they didn't do the right thing, at least I have money to be able to. People laugh. It's a sensitive topic because you're talking about the kids and life insurance, they're taking death. But I tell them, hey, you're saving money and stuff like that. So let's put something because if right now you're working and money is tight, what if something end up happening? What will you have to do? Because they are your responsibility. You're gonna have to be the one to take care of their final expense. People get it, and then you give them a price, and then sometimes what I do, if I give them a family package type of deal. So that's that part. That's for people in general who don't have the if they don't have the money and all that. But I also do a lot of smart UL for kids and the FNG IUL for kids as well. So if I find somebody with some funds, I will ask them, Stephen, hey, what do you do for savings for your kids? See, that's a different question. So now they have some money. They can afford more than the Mutual of Omaha or the Forester Bright Future for kids. I say, what do you do? What are you doing currently for saving? Oh, I'm putting $100 or $200 in the bank for them. And then I said, oh, if I can show you a way where you can put that money away for them where they can earn interest that might help them in the future with a first car or help with books or something like that, would you be open to it? Yeah, sure. Sometimes I offer, I say, hey, do you want to see what I do for my kids to save for them for the future? And then everybody says yes. And then I'll do it. When you do the smart UL, you can even do $25 on the smart UL with Foresters, and then put that guarantee insurability. So when they get older, they can add to that policy. Because as a kid, they can get up to 150. But if you do that guarantee insurability, so when they're older, they can up that policy, make it like a grown up plan for them. Same with F and G. I just do it, and then I have people putting $200, $300 for kids. That's when you can talk about saving for college, because if you do it early and you're putting $300, then that will save real money for college. So I do mutual, I do foresters if the income is kind of low. Uh, so that way we're focusing on basic coverage for the kids, basic protection, and then I do Smart UL or FNG, IUL, Pastetter, if they have money and then they can save. Anything else, Stephen?
Am I on? Awesome. So hey, I love that concept that you just talked about. Yeah, children's whole life. That and when people ask about Gerber, because we do have access to that through Integrity's platform. I tell people like, hey, I can use that product. I don't use that product. Let me show you Mutual of Omaha. Let me show you Children's Whole Life. So yeah, because it's not as good of a product. I love what you said last about finding those IULs for kids, because that here's the thing. When we think that people are done spending money on insurance, right? We think, well, I gave them 3 options. They picked this one. They said that was in their budget. That was in their budget for their personal life insurance, right? When you start talking about saving for kids or saving for grandkids, all of a sudden you start finding another $200, another $150, another $300, another $50. When you start talking about a different subject, right? It's like I always explain with me with entertainment, right? I will spend on golf to play a nice course. I will spend I will spend way more money than I would be willing to spend to do, say, something else entertainment wise, right? We all have those buckets in our head. And so what Mimi's doing with what she talked about at the end there is opening up a new bucket. What Sabrina was talking about is opening up a new bucket. It's a totally different bucket of money in their mind. So because that is the one pushback I get, Mimi, sometimes, like, what? They said the $78 is all they could afford for their life insurance.
That's
have
correct.
these other conversations. Man, I love it. In fact, Mimi, if you could, let's see, when's the next time? I'm in town next week, so I'll be hosting the call the week, and then then I'm in Stanford, Connecticut. So I'll be in town the next 2 Mondays. The last Monday of the month, can you do the Monday message and like runs illustrations and show how to save money for kids? Because that last part, I wasn't even on my radar to talk about. You and Sabrina both gave me stuff it wasn't even on my radar, right? That's why I'm always like, our thoughts are better than anybody's thoughts, right? When we all get together, we create new thoughts. Could you do the Monday message that last Monday of the month and like show them how to run an illustration, show them like how that actually works? Because when people grasp that concept, I mean, you'll start writing another $200 policy here, another $100 policy here. There's so many opportunities within what we're doing. Man, I love it. Thank you, Mimi. I appreciate you being on today. Thank you, Sabrina, for being on today. Thank you, Omar, for being on today. Hey, and thank you all of you that helped out last week. I know we've got an emerging leadership on the West Coast. Everybody that kind of helped look after each other while the office staff was they were brutally sick, guys. Like, like it was bad. So I appreciate everybody that was willing to step up and provide some leadership there. So awesome. What a team. I love this team so much. All right, that's it. That's our call for this week. That's our Monday message for this week, guys. Get your ticket to the boot camp here at the office. That's your time to come in and spend like serious dedicated time with us, with the staff here, with me, with Holly, with all the people that can help you. Like this, I'm just telling you, you can't put a value. It's the value of that. Like it's hard to quantify. It's such when you're around people and you're able to spend that kind of concentrated time and get tactical training. I'm excited about what Adam Burge is going to teach. I'm excited about what we're going to have Jeremico teach. I'm excited about the agenda overall. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a fantastic boot camp. We got Mercedes coming. It's going to be awesome. So get your tickets to the boot camp. Get one more person on your team here to the boot camp. I'm telling you, it's going to be a powerful event. Guys, Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you can possibly imagine. Let's get out. Let's attack it this week. We'll come back together next Monday.